What is up? What is up? What is up, everybody? This is your boy Is Nefarious, and I am here for another edition of the Premier Madden League Patriots series. We are here in week 8. It is a bye week for us, thankfully. So we get to relax and try to regather and maybe go on a run here. We won our last game before the break. We're now 4-3. We're in the hunt for the AFC East and definitely in the hunt for a playoff spot. So hopefully we can keep some of that going. We got storylines. We got a new message. We know we're not doing any players to negotiate because we already re-signed Jared Verse. Drake May and DJ Brown have charity events this week. My cause, my cleats. Oh, okay. Ooh, I have to choose between Drake May and AJ. Oh wow. Clean water for communities. Oh, I'm definitely going with the Drake May event based on that. Let's go with Drake May. I don't know what that does. Does that give another storyline? Okay. So we're doing the charity. What do we get? If you made an appearance, they would raise us. You're a leader, you don't need a babysitter. They wanted to see your intensity and how much you cared about the team, not me. They wanted to see the entertainer, not me. Yeah, I would do this one. Oh, so we got his. I don't know what that does. What did that do? Did he lose morale? Is that what just happened? I mean, his overall's up, the morale's good. Let's take a look. Yeah, he's +1 morale. He didn't lose anything. That's just weird. I wonder if you get it right, does that mean you're able to get an upgrade or something? The Bengals signed Corey Foreman, but he was protected, so he should be returned to us when he gets on. I don't know why he signed him, but Corey Foreman should be back with us. But you know, like I said, bye week, we get to set our national focus. That story was a little bit weird. National focus. What are we gonna go with? So for the national focus, set national focus. If we're thinking about our team and where we have holes, probably the linebacker and DB position after we traded away Christian Gonzalez. So I would actually go with a middle linebacker. We got Curtis Jacobs though, and we got some sub linebackers. If we're in nickel, we're good. Ooh, do we go with corner or do we go with middle linebacker? Honestly, middle linebacker, because I would like to not have a sub linebacker. And we addressed corner a lot this past draft, so let's go with middle linebacker. So that's done. We're gonna take a look at training. This week it's no game plan and things like that. We're gonna go half pads. We don't want anybody getting too tired for our next game. Our next game is actually gonna be against the Giants, who are a CPU team. So for focus players, I know we haven't really showed this. Right now we're going with Keanu Coat, Alfred Collins, Jared Verse, Dylan McKinney, Cam East, and Jacoby Lane. And then Jacoby Lane will drop off when we have our right guard healthy again. He'll probably drop off. Nobody else. I want to focus on the offensive line, maybe even Drew Bobo, but the right guard will step back in there. There's no defensive lineman I really want to focus on. Maybe Cameron Ball, but we have Christian Barmore. Ball's just like a extra piece at this point. Maybe Curtis Jacobs, make him a little bit better, but 81, he seems pretty solid right now. And star dev, and he's what, 25? I don't think he's gonna get much of an upgrade there. So I'm trying to focus on the younger guys that I know will get upgrades. Besides Jared Verse, he is 26, but he's a superstar dev, so I think he's gonna get a nice little upgrade week to week. So that's our focus right now, and we're gonna go into some of the training and talk about some of our season. So taking a look here, just going by our season and what's happened so far. First week we beat the Texans. If you weren't there, we were able to beat the Texans 38-37. That was actually a really close game where the Texans actually went for 2 to try to win the game instead of tie it. They could have took us to overtime. We could have ended up 0-1 starting week 1, but we were able to come out with a victory there. The defense stood up and played big on that last play of the game, and we got a good win there. So started off 1-0, which is good. Jumped into next week. Our next game was against the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills played a really good week 1, and they continued it week 2. Week 2, the final score was 45-31. The Buffalo Bills played really well. They were balanced. This is where our run defense was really tested, and our run defense actually showed the massive hole we've had so far this season. Our run defense got torn apart in this game. I think he had over 200 yards rushing. Offensively, we just weren't able to keep pace with what the Bills were doing, and we come out with a loss, 45-31, and we start off in the division 0-1, which is huge. When you're coming down to the end of the season, the way we've been beating up on each other, that divisional record could be huge at the end. So we started off 0-1 in the division. We dropped to 1-1, not the end of the world. The next game is where it got real ugly. We played the Eagles, and we were manhandled by the Eagles from start to finish. The Eagles absolutely destroyed us. We kind of made it a game at the end, but the score wasn't what it should have been. Final score 51-30. Just hands down beat the tar out of us. So that Eagles team was really good. Drake May had a tough game. I think this is the game. Yeah, we had 6 interceptions in this game from Drake May. So it just tells you how bad of a game we played offensively. Definitely went back to the drawing board after this game and tried to figure out what we could do offensively that's a little bit different and a little more effective. So losing this game was an eye-opener one. We weren't able to stop them either, so it didn't even answer questions on defense, because our defense was pretty bad, and that's what actually made Drake May's game even worse, is because he scored easily on offense, and we were like, all right, we got to get something going, and we started forcing it, and you had some picks, but we dropped that one 51-30. We dropped to 1-2 at that point, and we asked the question, what's going on with this team? Moving on to week 4, we revamped the offense. We kind of changed a few things, changed a little bit defensively. Week 4, we take on the 0-3 at the time Cowboys, and we're like, something's gotta give. Either we go either both teams are gonna be 1-3 after this, or we're gonna be 2-2. And we came out with a good win. We played the Cowboys pretty well, offensively and defensively. We were able to really stop what they wanted to do, which was good, as we might actually hit retry on this one. This one's tough, especially with AJ Brown is. Look at him burn us. We are getting torched on here. But we were able to come out with a good win against the Cowboys. Look, yeah, we are restarting this. But in that game, Omarion Hampton was really good. The offense was solid. We bounced back pretty well. The defense played really well. Not phenomenal, but definitely better than they played in the last couple of weeks. And next thing you know, we win this game. Final score was 35-31. We were able to move on to 2-2, which it was huge for a little bit of momentum. We felt a little bit better about what we saw from the team, and we move on to the next week. And the very next week, we play the Panthers. The Panthers are going into the game. They were 1-3, I believe, as we just keep getting tortured on this. Let's hit that restart button one more time. Talking and trying to do this at the same time is a little bit difficult, especially when you got AJ Brown in the slot. Hey, we made a play there. But the Panthers, we pretty much controlled from start to finish. Never really worried about this game getting out of hand. That offense really wasn't doing much against our defense. Our defense started playing really well, and this was a game where the defense itself really showed out. This was a good coming out party for the defense. It looked like we had some answers defensively, and we come out with a 34-22 win where we moved to this is when we moved to 3-2. Huge win for momentum, huge win for us. And you know, the Panthers, I know they weren't playing great, but it's still a good win at the end of the day. So the very next game, we have the Jets, another divisional game, a huge game for the division. We've had our issues with the Jets. We haven't even beat them once this cycle, which pretty much tells you how, you know, the Jets have kind of controlled the matchups. So we tried to come out and, you know, maybe get our first win, and that it started off well. Both offenses, this is, like I said, the defense was really good against the Panthers. This week, absolutely the other way. The defense was terrible. We couldn't get a stop. That offense is phenomenal, though. They got Kyle Pitts. They got JMO. They got a really good offense. So you can't really fault not having a great game defensively when you got that many weapons on offense. But, you know, we jump out to a lead. We had a couple chances. There was a 4th down that he was able to convert. That was huge in the game. Oh, what the hell just happened to my player? There was a 4th down that he was able to convert in this game that was huge late in the game. It came down to overtime. We weren't able to stop him on 4th and 13 with the game on the line. So what happened was we got him to a 4th and 13 with his last drive, and he was able to hit a corner route that he threw pretty early to Kyle Pitts, and Kyle Pitts made a great play. Now, Kyle Pitts made a phenomenal play, catching traffic, definitely bailed him out because I don't think it was a great throw. But he made a great play. It came down to who won the toss, because I think both offenses were gonna, you know, go downfield no matter what, based on how they were playing, and he won the toss and he was able to come out with a win. But another game where we got real close to the beating the Jets, but unable to do so, unable to complete that. So the Jets come out with that win. They were on a run. They actually improved to 5-2 with that win, which was huge for them, and we dropped to 3-3. Not the end of the world. We move on to next week, and next week we got the Tennessee Titans, which was the last video that we just uploaded. Tennessee Titans, they're 3-3 at the time when we play. We're 3-3. Both teams trying to stay within the hunt for the division, and we come out with a good win. I think this was the best game overall for the defense, and not so much the offense. The offense wasn't as good, but we got out to a 21-0 lead. So at that point, we were basically playing a little less aggressive, and we kind of let the Titans back into it. Our offensive play calling kind of got kind of watered down. We weren't really doing anything too crazy, and we just couldn't continue getting momentum offensively. The Tennessee Titans and DJ Lagway made a good game. At the end, they were really making us sweat a little bit, worry a little bit about the possible comeback. But then our defense made a huge play late in the game. Maxwell Hairston up 2 scores after the offense was able to get us up by 31-21. The defense stepped up big with Maxwell Hairston while they were driving. He was able to pick off DJ Lagway, who was actually playing really, really well to that point. And we were able to come out with the win. We moved to 4-3, which is huge for us, especially with the way the division's playing. Both the Jets and the Bills, we're chasing them or trying to catch them at this point, and that was a huge win. And it's always good to go into a bye with a win. It's always good to go into a bye feeling good about yourself and feeling good about the offense. Now, speaking about our defense and our offense, we've been back and forth. Offensively, we made one change and it's stuck. Defensively, we kind of been back and forth on what kind of style we want to play. We were bland at the beginning. We had a certain style at the beginning. We changed it up, a couple games in. And then that didn't work, and then we changed it up again. That really didn't work against the Eagles, and then we went back to what we were doing, and it worked a little bit, and then we were like, all right, this is working. And then the game against the Jets, and he just totally destroyed us, and we were like, all right, that's not working. And then we went back to what we were doing against the Eagles, when we played the Titans, and it actually worked. They got the run defense was really good, and we were able to get some stops. So it's weird that we were able to, go back and forth from each offense from the past. I mean, each defense from this week. We played maybe 3 different styles of defense already this early in the season, and I would say we're still trying to see what works. What worked against the Titans might not work against the Jets, or might not work against the Bills. So we gotta actually keep being creative and keep focusing on improving week to week with that defense. To finish out the season, we got week 9, we got the Giants, which you just saw. So they are 1-6 to the CPU, so it's not like a user team. Obviously a confident game when you're playing the CPU, but they could always cheat you, so it's not a free win, but it's definitely easier than playing a user, at least in this cycle. So we got the CPU, we got the Jags. Jags are kind of like the Jets in a sense, where we have a tough time with them, just the user in general. So if we can come out with a win, I really like the momentum that we'll get from that. So if we come out with the win against that, we got the as we mess up there, if we come out with the win there, we'll move on to hopefully 6-3 at that point. Hopefully that's going to be the record. But the Jags aren't an easy out, like I said, but I feel like we could win. Then we got the Bills. That's going to be a massive game for the division, because I think it's going to be between the Bills, myself, and the Jets. Then you got the Colts. Last game we played against them, we won, but we are 1-1 against them on the cycle. The Bills, we're pretty good against the cycle. I'm pretty sure the Bills, we lost 2 games season 2, 4-2 from a sweep season 1, sweep season 3, and we lost. So we're 4-3 against the Bills. So we have a pretty good record against the Bills. Colts, like I said, 1-1 so far. I feel confident in that game. The Dolphins, we're close to, I think we're about 4-3, or maybe even 3-4 at this point. I think we've split a lot. I would have to go back and look, but I think we're pretty good there. But I feel confident we're able to win that. We got to worry about Waddle, but other than that, we feel confident in stopping them. The Chargers are going to be a tough out no matter what. That's always a good user and a guy we have a tough time matching up with. We got the Commanders, who have been really good this season. That's going to be probably one of my tougher games in this schedule, so definitely got to worry about him. And then we get the Jets, like I said, we haven't beat them yet, so we're 0-7 against the Jets this cycle. Can we get that first win? Last 2 times we played them, it's gotten really close, and we've had a chance to win it at the end. We're just missing a player to kind of come up with the with that win. So just 1 or 2 plays, and we'll be able to get that. The Steelers has proven to be a really good user so far. As you can see, 6-2 so far this season. So he's going to be really tough to kind of take out. The Dolphins to finish out. And I mean, I like our schedule to end the season. I think we have a really good chance. So I just wanted to do a rundown of our schedule a little bit. Maybe even talk about the in-season awards. Not the in-season awards, the yearly awards. It's not out yet. It comes out next week. We'll talk about some of the stats though. Taking a look so far this season, Drake May is 68% completion percentage. He has 21 TDs, 12 picks. That really bad game in Philadelphia, or against Philadelphia, was huge as far as a hit to his interception to touchdown to interception ratio. You got 6 just from that game, and then 6 from all the others. You got Omarion Hampton, who's got 83 yards for 430 yards, 83 attempts for 430 yards, 5.2 yards a carry, 6 touchdowns. You got Caleb Jackson in his rookie season, 239, 5 yards a carry and a touchdown. So having a good season. Drake May has 19 carries for 26 yards, so getting involved. Brian Robinson only has the 1 carry for 20 yards, so definitely doing his thing. AJ Brown having a really good season, 25 receptions, 569, 5 touchdowns. You got Nesbitt, like I said, a touchdown machine, 400 yards and 7 touchdowns. Omarion Hampton has 18 for 255, 3 touchdowns. You got Jacoby Lane, who actually wasn't starting to begin the season, kind of started later on, a few weeks in. He's got 12 receptions for 246 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Nico Collins, the newcomer, 15 for 197 and a touchdown. Roman Logan Wilson 9 for 142, 2 touchdowns. Jalen Polk over 100 yards there. Michael Mayer's been injured a lot for this season. As you can see, he's down there with 5 for 108. He's played in he's played in 3 games. 71 downs played, so not really involved just because of injuries. Offensive line has been good, as you can see. Taylor Decker, Ronnie Stanley, Cam East, he hasn't played a lot of downs, but he's given up a sack. Brian O'Neill and Mike Unwenu. As you can see, Lasoya the third, really good. 248 downs played, 0 sacks so far. Playing really well. And then you get the rest of the bunch that's pretty much let up a sack already. But I think our offensive line is really solid this year. Tackles for loss, Alfred Collins being really good and really active. Keanu Colt as well, and Christian Barmore. Our sack leader, not a lot of sacks. Jared Verse leading our team, 3 sacks. We just recently got him. I don't know how many sacks he had before coming over here. I don't think he had any. And then Alfred Collins and Keanu Colt not having the same success he had last season. Wesley Williams has a sack and a half. You have Efford with a sack. You have Connor with a sack, and then you have a few with a half a sack. Dylan McKinney, who went from a normal dev to a star for us, has been a huge development, especially after trading Christian Gonzalez. Curtis Jacobs got an interception. Shamari Connor, Marcus Jones, and Maxwell Hairston, all with interceptions. We got a couple forced fumbles. We actually got 4. Drew Sanders got 1. Jelani Tavai, Keanu Colt, and Marcus Jones all getting active. I think we have the 1 defensive touchdown from Marcus Jones. But all in all, not bad stats. Definitely want a little bit more sacks. I think the defense could play a lot better. But talking about the league leaders, I just want to go through them real quick. Jalen Milroe, 3,499 yards with a 72% completion percentage, 34 touchdowns, 6 picks. Absolutely insane season. Rourke has 3,114, 32 touchdowns, 21 picks. Not as great, just a stat filler. Jaden Daniels having an effective season with 28 touchdowns, 15 picks. Obviously the 15 is pretty high. Anthony Richardson has 23, so definitely not protecting the ball. Drew Aller, as we know, is going to have a good season. 2,714 yards, 6 picks and 28 touchdowns. And Drake May takes a little bit before you get to him with the 2,162. Now some of these guys have played an extra game, just from us having a bye week. Josh Allen being one of them. Nate Johnson as well, the rookie, 18 touchdowns, 14 picks. Taking a look at some of the rushing leaders, you got Kenneth Walker, who's been 1A and 1B with Dylan Sampson as far as the best running backs in the league. You got 727 yards. You got 11 touchdowns as well. Dylan Sampson with 709 and 10 touchdowns. You got Price there, Jadarian Price with 603 and 10 touchdowns. You got 9 from AJ Green, who we just played and we were able to corral pretty well. And I think he's having a good season, 5.1 yards a carry, and we were able to really hold him in that game, which is a positive after the way we started this season. ETN's averaging over 7 yards a carry. You got over 7 for Benson as well, over 7 for Sampson. So you got a lot of guys getting a lot of yards. Receiving yards, Jamison Williams, that Jets offense has been firing on all cylinders. You got him with 53 receptions, 1,283 yards. He's got 15 touchdowns as well. You got Trey Harris up there in the AFC East, so the AFC East represented in the top 5 when it comes to receivers. And then you got Kyle Pitts, actually, so you got 2 Jets in the top 5 as far as receivers. 812 yards there, 10 touchdowns. You got 827, 10 touchdowns from Harris. You got 841, 11 touchdowns for Jefferson, and that 15 touchdowns is an insane number. Xavier Worthy has 10 himself. So you got some crazy numbers throughout this, and I was saying that Nesbitt was a touchdown machine for us, and he's only got 7, so that kind of speaks to the level that these guys are playing. Taking a look at some of the defensive leaders, you got Baron Brown with 7.5 sacks, Newsom with 7. You got Princely and with the Bills, he has 6. You got 5.5 for Simpson. You got 5.5 for Karlaftis and Jalen Phillips. So you got some guys up there with 5.5. Nick Benito, but a very good season so far for Browning and Newsom, and we need some sacks on our team. So hopefully we're able to get some moving forward. You got 8 interception for Ricky Gibson the third. Kenneth Murray has 7. We just gave him 2 this last game. Eric Stokes has 7. You got Isaiah Rogers, who has 6. We gave Isaiah Rogers like 4, if I remember correctly. We gave him a ton. Sanistro, that was botched. Mike, we'll call him Mike. Mike was 6. But you got a few guys up there. You know, not one of our guys defensively. We don't have a lot of guys defensively on the list. Forced fumbles, you got 3 from the safety over in Houston, so you get some guys active. I wonder if anybody has multiple. You got multiple TDs from Eric Stokes, Max Melton, Lathan, Quay Walker, and Quincy Williams, and Christian Harris. So a bunch of guys getting a bunch of couple touchdowns apiece on the defensive side of things. But I just wanted to go through some of the things that were happening in the league, show you on the series, also show you some of the some of our stats, and talk about our schedule moving forward. It's a bye week. There's not too much to talk about, but I think we did pretty well in filling the time, as we kept getting burnt by AJ Brown a million times. But that's pretty much gonna do it for this one. We'll pick it back up when we play the Giants next week in week 9. Hopefully we can come out with a win there, but that's gonna do it, and I appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you next time.